When you think of research, what do you think of?
Challenging.
Difficult.
Terrified.
Scared out of my mind. Completely on your own.
Maybe you're super excited to finally delve into that one obscure interest of yours. Or maybe you're nervous. Maybe you're not sure what your topic will be, or if you can handle the workload. Don't worry, I've been there. I actually hop between a few project ideas before settling on my final one. I'm Jason Entweeupper, and I'm a member of Glen High School's class of 2022. And as of this recording, I'm a candidate for the AP Capstone Diploma, which you could receive after passing seminar, research, and 4 other AP exams. I picked my project because it was something I was always interested in, educational technology. If you knew me, you'd know that I'm super into the world of technology. And as we all know, COVID-19 changed the face of how we use technology in the classroom. So I conducted a study to understand how technology use changed and how it can continue to be a useful tool for teachers in the classroom. Over the next year, you'll conduct your very first real research project, report on your findings in a 20-minute presentation, and write a 4,000 to 5,000 word paper detailing your work. Working on this project was a challenging but extremely gratifying experience for me. But let's hear some more from other research students.
Hi, my name is Maddie Gutierrez, and I'm a part of the class of 2023.
I'm Lexis Madison, and I'm a member of the class of 2023.
And I'm Grace, and I'm also a member of the class of 2023. AP Research is the application of what you learned in AP Seminar. You are let off the reins and told, hey, find something you want to know more about, find out more about it. Being able to look at different sources and pull information from that and then create your own experiment based off of those papers.
So how did you come up with your current idea and why did you decide to pursue that?
So the first month, I think I really spent trying to think about things that are important to me in order to see what I'd like to explore more.
I went with something personal, like something I've experienced before with like mental health. So that was quite easy for me to, research and delve into.
So do you remember how many ideas you went through before settling on your current one?
I think I went through like 10. You would go through stages of like, oh, this is good. And then you would do the preliminary research and you're like, oh, I can't say that.
There's also nothing on some of them.
It's either there's no information or like, oh, this is not a subject that AP Research would allow me to research. There are topics that are restricted and you have to make sure you avoid those.
I changed my topic multiple times because I actually originally wanted to focus on homelessness in Austin. However, looking at different sources and articles and whatnot, I realized that topic was not really something that I could research. And so I feel like if you are going to be an AP Research student, you're going to take the class, I wouldn't try and choose one topic for sure and then just cherry pick different sources to really feed into your topic. I would in fact look at different resources and see what you're interested in and see what you can actually build off of instead of trying to solidify a certain topic or question that you had originally.
Could you talk more about your research process?
I remember thinking about my topic and I'm like, okay, I can go onto Google Scholar and see if there's any sort of information. My topic included more of 2 different parts, and I found a lot of information on one of the parts, and the other one had no information. So that made it really easy for me to find the gap, which would be to take one bridge from the knowledge in the one topic that I already knew a lot about and bridge it into the other topic. So that made my research gap really easy to find. And then after that, it was just about devising a plan to study it.
So would you say that your research project came out how you expected it to?
Yes and no. I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew how I wanted to do it. It was just the results did not come out as intended. My hypothesis was completely wrong.
You also had very few participants, so that definitely affected your results quite a bit.
And the schedule conflicts. We had a lot of challenges that were unforeseen and affected my results drastically. But it's okay. I'm alive in the end, and we got enough results to make a paper, but not enough to be conclusive.
I would have definitely liked to delve into more of the effects of COVID on academics within the realm of mental health and everything. I asked one question about it, but it didn't really provide me with much to go on. So I would say that would be something I look into in the future, possibly.
So we can all agree that our research projects didn't necessarily come out the way we expected them to. But would you all say that that's negatively affected the outcomes of your research project?
No. So I think that at College Board, they realized that none of us have really written a research paper or done an experiment. So I think as long as you look like you put in effort and try to follow the rubric, try to find some type of new understanding, which everyone is capable of doing that, then you'll be just fine.
So what would you say was the most challenging part of the research process for you?
Discipline. Like actually going through and reading the articles that I found.
Motivation. Lost interest.
Another thing about research, you got to make sure you pick something that's important to you that you won't lose interest on, because I didn't lose interest in my topic. I just lost motivation to do the work because I was tired.
Was there any time period this year that you found to be particularly stressful?
Right before the presentation, because my public speaking skills are not superb compared to my writing skills. And that was the part I was like nervous about. And that whole week leading up to it, I was stressed, trying to get everything finished and polished and practiced.
Yeah, I would say right before the presentation was probably the most stressful. The submission for the actual paper wasn't terrible. Like, it was actually pretty easy, and it wasn't stressful. Whereas the presentation, you had to stand in front of your peers and like 3 judges essentially critiquing you as you spoke. Writing things down, making notes, and just knowing that was terrible.
What was it like balancing research with your other classes and activities?
I feel like it was difficult more in the end of the second semester because, in the beginning you're like, oh, this is 10 months away. I don't need to worry about this. You do need to worry about it because it'll all come crawling back to bite you. And, I didn't manage my time properly, so I was struggling in the back half of the semester. I mean, there's so much work that goes into this class, and it's all self-paced. Well, in all of my other classes, you have deadlines, and the teachers lie like on your back, like, hey, this is due this day, blah, blah, blah. This one, you're on your own. You have to make every schedule, and you have to make all the deadlines yourself, pretty much, just to meet the one at the end of the year.
Yeah, and at that point, it's not a huge priority compared to other classes because you don't have specific deadlines.
Time management is a skill that I learned in this class that I still need to work on, but it's okay.
Some students had slightly different experiences.
I realized that AP research is actually not as time consuming as some students say. So if you're worried about time management and stuff like that, I actually wouldn't worry about that for this class.
Newsflash, she lied.
That was a lie.
If you've made it to this point in high school without effective organization and time management skills, I'm impressed. But as you've heard, you'll definitely need them for this class. And now's as good a time as any other to adopt good study habits.
Personally, I struggle with time management, and I usually procrastinate and wait till the last minute to do things. So when we had to turn in our paper or do our presentation, it was really stressful because I had to do my paper basically in a week or so. I had stuff down. I think we all did. It was just trying to revise and do last minute changes. And those last minute changes ended up being writing a whole paper. So I would recommend that you figure out time management and stuff like that. I mean, we all procrastinate. It's not a big deal, but it's it is a big deal in this class. So it is kind of serious. It only gets harder with trying to manage your time with other possible AP classes or extracurriculars and whatnot. So time management is something that I struggled with from the very beginning to the very end of the class.
Now that your paper is turned in and all is said and done, how do you feel about your project?
Oh, I feel really good.
I felt pretty good about it. I passed.
Yeah, I feel like even if I didn't pass, I feel like the adulting skills I learned in this class, like time management and discipline, are more valuable than earning a 3 or higher on the actual
gauging
thing.
new experience and some new skills along the way.
Yeah, I learned how to write academically a lot stronger. My writing in the beginning was really, really rough, and now it's hey, this is actually looking kind of professional.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself.
Going from reading her papers in 8th grade to now, it's quite the growth.
8th grade was rough. And I'm going to say feedback is probably one of the most important things you can do in research.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on top of you doing your own work, feedback. Talk with your peers in that class. Oh my God, just do it.
Yes, please socialize and get
Bombard
feedback.
them. Ask them to read and reread your stuff, and ask for their opinions. And don't ask them to be nice about it either. Like, sure, it feels good to be complimented, but you always, for this, this is a competitive course, and you want to be better. So make sure you ask. It's like, hey, if there's something I can improve on, tell me. Don't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, I feel like we're all like really like willing to help each other, but we were just like, I don't know, we just didn't talk very much. Like,
We
I
didn't,
remember
reach out to each other and just be
Yeah.
like, hey, can you just look over my paper and give me some
Yeah.
notes?
when was it that we did the like outdoor thing?
I think it was actually the end of the first semester.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Team building with individualized course, that was
That
so
was-
strange.
Yeah, we've been in class together for months, and we didn't know each other's names.
Yeah, I think only one person was able to do it successfully, and that was after we all
I've gone at least once.
yeah, so we already kind of knew the names of people.
Yeah.
But after that, I feel as if there was a new dynamic in the classroom. It was definitely worthwhile.
Oh yeah, that was definitely worth it. Afterwards, we started talking more. Definitely helped me get more feedback.
And over the course of this year, has there been anything that you regret in the research process or the class overall?
No.
As much as I want to say I do regret taking the class, I don't.
I don't either.
It was worthwhile.
Everyone in that class is pretty chill. We just kind of vibed the whole year. We had our crunch time where we were stressed, but
Yeah.
the rest of the time made it worth it. And yeah.
What advice would you give to incoming research students?
Definitely know what you're getting into. And if you have any reservations about it,
You definitely ponder them, but overall I think it's really worthwhile class. I learned a lot, and it's probably been one of my favorite classes all year.
and it's not terribly difficult
It's
in
just
the long run.
yeah.
You're working on one thing for the whole year.
What you really need is to be able to know that you have the dedication to do it. It's not particularly hard, especially if you have a great teacher, great peers.
Mm-hmm. But
It's
to keep
just-
that motivation for a
That's-
whole year on one singular
It
topic.
takes a lot of mental energy.
So, if you had the opportunity to go back in time and talk to yourself before you began research, what would you tell yourself?
Keep going. Definitely keep going. This class is important, but it's not worth crying over every night. I didn't do that, but it's not worth being or stressing that much about. It's not worth losing sleep over. It's not worth, stressing out over. I don't know if I'm gonna get the diploma. My research was solid, but I don't know how solid it was. But I feel like I learned a lot and I had a lot of fun doing it despite some of the stressful moments. Don't give up because you think it's too much work. It's a lot of work. It definitely is, but you just have to learn how to space it out over the year so it doesn't become overwhelming.
Yeah, overall, you're going to want to do something that you're going to be proud of in the end. So just work for it, continue working for it, and try your best, because that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and you'll do great no matter what, as long as you actually put effort into it,
Yeah.
and you put good effort into it, not oh, I want a grade for this and slap words on a page. That's not going to get you anywhere.
After listening to this episode, maybe you're thinking that research isn't for you. But as you've heard, the process is hard for everyone, and the most important thing of all is what you learn from it. Research skills, writing skills, and so much more that you'll pick up over the course of this year. And if you're worried about meeting the word limit, don't be. Trust me. 5,000 words will fly by in an instant, just like the time you spent listening to this podcast. While our time together is coming to an end, your journey's just beginning. I hope your research experience will be just as revealing and gratifying as mine was.